Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Halftime Pie. It's episode 10 today. How we have gone through 10 episodes, I do not know. They said it couldn't be done, and by them, I mean Dan and Savage, who join me today. DJ is unavailable today, he's on international duty for Papua New Guinea. They've called him up again. 10 episodes, lads. Should we have a quick reflection period over the last 10 episodes? Like what you learned are, how it's improved you as people, or if it's taken anything away from your soul, anything like that.
It's been a testing time, trying times for us all, I think.
I think Sean Bean at the beginning of the episodes,
especially trying times for Sean Bean.
Yeah. For old Jimmy, I think he's having a bit of a reflection period in himself, and by that I mean he's camped out in Weatherspoons until the season starts again. So getting absolutely twatted.
Will we ever see him again?
I don't know. Probably on Crime Watch or something. But yeah, I think my learns is you've got to be open to criticism. Always take feedback on board to an extent. You can't listen to what everybody says, but yeah, we're always trying to learn, and most importantly, all praise Bod. I think that's what I've got to say.
Is he still our benefactor then?
Well, you know what, the checks haven't bounced yet, but I think there have been quite a few financial irregularities floating about from Stamford Bridge, so the lights could go out any day, I suppose.
Are we going to get another defender to join our motley crew?
I don't know. Potentially. Don't know if you've heard anything.
Those stories about financial irregularities are just unconfirmed rumours, unsubstantiated rumours.
Was the money was just resting in his account?
That's exactly right, and we've no updates on any incomings because Mr. Tolley is so tied up with so many deals, it seems, at the moment.
Oh yeah, that's it. Transfer window's going to be open soon. It'll be like supermarket sweep for Premier League footballers.
Managers. I think
true.
He's been linked with 4 or 5 or 6 in the last week. So
yeah, has he settled on the lad from Leicester? I think he has. He's gone for the trendy, bold manager at the moment.
We've seen it work at other clubs. Wants to follow that model of success.
Yeah, he's seen Sean Dyche at Everton and thought, I want a bit of that. Right, you grow a ginger goatee now.
Kind of seems like the Premier League is going to be full of bald managers. I kind of feel happy about that since I've got no hair.
It's Pep who's brought the European style.
Is that what
That's it? Fergie never, changed hairstyles in the Premier League. What have you got to say about that, Fergie, eh?
Klopp was just an outlier. But Ten Hag has followed the trend.
Yeah, that's it.
Dan, you're going to have to follow suit for this podcast. You're going to have to shave your head.
I'm not a manager.
Not with that attitude. Or that haircut.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you to shave those damn sideburns.
Well, that's it. You don't need your UEFA Continental Pro license. You just need to get your head shaved to be eligible to manage a Premier League club.
Talking about pro licenses, I was on X or Twitter the other day, and I saw that Joey Barton is now going by the name of Dr. Joey Barton.
Fucking hell, it's like Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. Hi, everybody.
What is he, a doctor of?
It just says a PhD in football.
Okay.
Being an absolute knob.
Is that self-proclaimed? Can you do that? I'm not sure you can.
I don't know. I think he got his. I think he might have got one of his football badges or licenses, and now he's a full-fledged doctor.
If you mention Joey Barton and license, you think he's like on license.
You do. You go straight to that, don't you?
Yeah.
If someone's going to call themselves a doctor of something, I want more than a GCSE.
Yeah. You want proof, don't you? And
I
it's just
do.
not there.
Yeah.
But I think what I'd last heard about Joey Barton was that he went through that period of spouting his mouth off. He'd basically been like the male Katie Hopkins. Thought, you know what, this will get me a lot of recognition, and it turns out he just got sued. So he set up like crowdfunding for himself because he
Yeah.
can't afford to pay the charges. So just goes to show, doesn't it? You can't go around spouting your mouth off.
No, that's why we don't do that on this show.
Exactly. We leave that up to Mr. Toller.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
He foots the bill, doesn't he? So
He does.
you know, we're still suffering for Savage's outbursts in the first few episodes.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think
Oh,
I think those 115 city charges will be sorted before Savage's his issues have come to light.
I
So
know. Yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully that they come first. Hopefully.
Yeah, well, that's it. We'll get relegated to, I don't know what's below podcasting.
I don't know actually.
I don't know.
We'll have to make our own OnlyFans page.
I'm not
up.
looking forward to finding out.
No, we're not. But guaranteed it's going to happen sooner or later. It's coming. Like the sword of Damocles above us all, going to get the chop one day or another. It's just the harsh world of podcasting, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. We're new to this game, so it's kind of be a shock to our system if we get like demoted.
Well, you know what? It's cutthroat, so
It is. It's dog eat dog out here.
It really is.
How can we claw ourselves back? How could we get back to the big time?
Well, the fact that you're asking that means that we're fucked. If you don't know what the answer is, don't bother asking the question.
We're gonna might have to prostitute ourselves out across all the
Already
podcast
there.
land.
Already there. Why do you think we didn't do a podcast for a couple of weeks? On the streets, earning
streets.
dollar.
We could end up joining Talk Sport.
Oh, I'll never
God.
stoop that low.
Never in my lifetime.
Be an understudy to someone on there. Stan Collymore.
No, you're thinking of like Aston Villa strikers. I think you're on about what's his face? Agbonlahor.
Yeah.
Yeah, like don't even. I could just spend an hour absolutely ripping him. Waste of space. But anyway, so yeah, 10 episodes. Here's to the next 10, or maybe not. So in terms of football, then yesterday it was the Champions League final. Typical Real Madrid performance.
Yes.
It looked like they're gonna, like, you know, the looks up and end up winning. It was guaranteed to happen.
Yeah.
Dortmund will be having absolute nightmares about how they lost that match, especially Adeyemi with that miss.
Yeah.
He looked destroyed after the miss. So God knows what his head was like after it. I think he got taken off. But yeah, I don't know if you guys managed to watch it. Like, shout out to Lenny Kravitz beforehand for getting absolutely booed off.
I didn't get
the
to see
Dortmund fans.
that.
No, I didn't see that either.
I didn't see it.
No,
when you made that reference about Lenny Kravitz in in our group chat, I was like thinking, all right, just play along with it. I don't know what's going on here. And then,
so were the Champions League final organisers, from the sounds of it. Like, what? I don't know what's going on there. Like, they're trying to make it like the Super Bowl. You know what the fans will love? Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah. Isn't this like the second time or third time they've done this, where they've got some kind of singer to come out? Surely they did it last year. And
did they only do this at the Champions League final, or did they do this at the Europa League and Conference League finals as well? Did they get impersonation acts to do those?
You get like lower celebrities to do that. So for like the Conference League, you're probably talking like, oh fucking hell, I don't know.
Let's look on Cameo and see who we can get to do as a video, and we'll play it on the big screen.
Like Gareth Gates or someone.
Yeah, Gareth Gates.
Like doing his cover of Spirit in the Sky from 2002.
Oh, Will Young as well there, popping up.
And then for the Europa League final, I don't know who you get to do that. Probably it's got to be someone a bit better on it.
Yeah.
I'd probably say like the Darkness. You know, I like the Darkness. They're good, but you know they're not like top tier. And then I think Lenny Kravitz. You've got to have someone better than that, haven't you? Like Chumbawamba. What are they up to these days?
Well, they
You
weren't
know,
doing a Champions League final, that's for sure.
Do you know what? They would have got more of a reaction with that banger. Like,
you know what?
all the Dortmund fans singing, "I get knocked down, but I get back up again." Like, amazing.
I've actually looked on Cameo, you know, for musicians, and the third one down is Paul Chuckle.
Well, there you go.
That's
He
just
could
sad.
do the Conference League final.
That's
It-
just sad. That like without his brother.
I know.
Oh
It just,
dear. Oh
it just,
dear.
it actually just says Chuck. It just says Chuckle brother. Yeah.
That's sad. That is sad.
Oh no. Oh, I feel depressed now.
But his rate if you want a cameo video is £43.
43 quid.
UEFA could afford that for the Europa League Conference budget.
I just imagine like the intro themes to Chuckle Vision. Chuckle Vision. And they could get like Barry as a hologram. like in a German accent, just the wall singing
That's
that back at him.
stretching the budget a little bit more than he was expecting, having to reach for that.
Yeah, you want the full experience, you got to do it.
I
Gareth
can't remember what's his name. Something Infantino. I can't imagine he was planning to have to phone Paul Chuckle in the first place. Never mind, get a hologram set up.
You know what?
He's been avoiding his calls for years.
You know what? For £4 more, you will get Gareth Gates for 47 quid.
Oh, you
Wow.
save yourself some money.
Oh, depreciation. That's tough.
And for £4 less, you could get Kerry Katona.
That's probably like you probably get a lot more for that money as well. Just saying.
But it is a stretch if you wanted to get him. It's Jedward for £118.
Oh,
Is that for
someone's
one?
overvalued Jedward. Even if that's for both, if you split that in half, that's more than any of the others. And I wouldn't pay more for Jedward than I pay for Paul Chuckle.
I wonder where it's being held next year. Then we can try
Rotherham.
and
Rotherham. That's so they'll get him to turn up.
If it's not Rotherham United, no deal. I'm not
We'll
going.
book him on Cameo and we'll arrange you an Uber.
Yeah, but you only have to stay for 15 minutes, Paul. It's fine.
Oh, what could he do? I don't know what he would be able to do without his brother.
Whatever he wants.
Drag a ladder across something.
Yeah, fuck something up.
Well, he's not got someone towards the other end.
Oh, no, that's a shame. That
It sort of ruins a lot of the physical comedy that he was part of his act.
who's got a mustache nowadays that's quite relevant? I'm just thinking, like, can we get like Jason Sudeikis to dress up as Ted Lasso and pretend to be his brother? Can you do a Rotherham accent, Ted?
No famous mustachioed people spring to mind. I think moustaches are
It would have been
dying
James
out
Nunes.
a little bit.
Oh,
Endangered species.
they are. I'm just thinking as well. What he could do is, I could just imagine him and Barry would have made a good like managerial team. So maybe they could give some support to. I don't know. I think Dortmund could have done a bit of help from Barry and Paul in that second half. Some meddling going on. I don't know, like Barry like pissing in the water bottles or something. I don't know.
Put the Madrid players off the game. They needed something, didn't they? It was a good game though, wasn't it? It was an exciting match.
Yeah,
It was.
chances galore for Dortmund in that first half.
That was the thing, wasn't it? I think once Dortmund had missed, once they'd missed two, then it made me start getting nervous for them that they needed to take at least one of them. Or you just felt like sooner or later Madrid are going to get a chance and they're going to score. They did ride the luck a lot though, and it was a couple other near misses.
It was.
I can't remember who had the shot, but the keeper, Courtois, made a good save back into the 6-yard box. But the Dortmund striker just couldn't stretch for it. He jumped for to get a head on it, and he made contact, but he just couldn't direct it back towards the goal, and another one got away there.
Yeah, and I think like once that first goal went in, that was it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you knew anyway. Like the longer it went, the more chances they were missing.
Yeah.
It was typical Madrid, and then that second one, it's the killer in it. If you're doing that, passing
Vinny
them,
Jr.
yeah, if you're passing it, giving it away in those positions, you know you don't deserve to win it. But
like you said yesterday in the chat about the first goal, the header from one of like the smallest players on the pitch,
Yeah.
that kind of would have like deflated the whole kind of Dortmund team, thinking, how the fuck did we let that go in? How the fuck did we get him to get the head on that?
I know, and like, where's Hummels? He's like
Yeah.
twice as big as him. Like,
That's it.
Yeah, he had a lot of spells in the game. Hummels was really good. He put in
he
some
was.
outstanding tackles, and he was in the right places. Bit surprising that they look so solid and then just get caught. But
Yeah, it's a weird one, Hummels, because he was at Bayern, wasn't he? He got
Yeah,
the
he
big
was.
move, and then he just kind of he thought, all right, he's finished now. But he's done really well. I think what's he 35 now?
Yeah.
Not loads of pace, but still he's done well to have a resurgence. And I think I would have loved him at United for a while. But
Yeah.
I was impressed with him in that game.
That Schlotterbeck is quite impressive as well. He's
I
been a
think the
bit of a
commentators
standout.
mentioned in the game that both these have not been getting many call-ups for the national side because the Germans must have a strong pool of centre backs to pick from. But yeah, I agree. I think he looked good too.
yeah, it was a couple of players' last games as well. Kroos
Of course.
Royce retiring. I think, yeah, Royce. To be honest, I don't really know much about him other than he had a lot of potential and he was injured a lot.
Yeah.
And he never quite. He was always linked up with a move away, but his injuries potentially might have stopped him from doing that. So what could have been? And Kroos, I think he's just ridiculous amount of trophies.
Yeah.
It should be illegal to win that amount of Champions Leagues, and it just seems, what is it, 6 now?
That's between. I saw a picture with Cruz and all the other players who've all got 6 trophies from this team. Like Carvial, he's won.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I think there's about, you've got Modric, obviously, he's got the 6 Champions Leagues. Come on, Real Madrid. Real Madrid must. I know we talk about City and they think they're like the best team in Europe. Essentially, that's what their mindset is. But come on, Real Madrid. Did they blow everyone out of the water, including
In European
ourselves?
competition, they do. It's ridiculous. They already was way ahead of the curve with how many had won it, and then they went on a spell where they won 3 in a row and
They don't even play well and win it. Like, I
know,
can't remember them playing brilliantly for like the past 3 times they've won it. I've thought, they're not winning it again. Oh, they've won it again, and it's just. Why is Cruz retiring? Like, if you're like, oh, go on, I'll have one more.
This is it.
It's like having a pint in a pub on a Friday night. It's like, it's one more, Tony. Yeah, go on then.
I think it was in the semis. I think he was on the bench, and they brought him on, and it was just like he'd not missed a beat. I think we might have spoke about it at the time and said, why would you not just keep him, even if you don't play him all the time, just to have him around to be like. You've got a load of young players playing in midfield now who are talented, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and whoever else they might bring in the summer as well, to add to it. But you would have thought he'd have been happy to stick around. He's good enough. Keep him there, and then even if it's just use him as a sub and have him saying to them like, "This is what it's like when we go and we're in this situation. This is what you do. Whatever." Seems like it's worth keeping him and pretty much guaranteed to add some more medals to his pile next season. But yeah, we'll see how much they miss him because they've still got such a talented squad to pick from, haven't they? But you'd think it'd be a bit of a miss.
I was just checking. Then Modric has signed a new contract with Madrid.
Wow!
So it's like a bit of a, like you said, that experience, but also like a bit of an emergency. You know, come on. When Modric came on, you know, he like basically like having to cheat. Don't give the ball away.
Yeah.
You know, he's not gonna. He'll calm things down. He'll get you over the line, and I think that's what he's going to be there for. And you don't need. I was going to say you don't need legs, but obviously you still do to be a footballer. But I mean, in terms of like, not in a Jimmy
like
Moore sense.
Stamina,
Yes,
endurance, getting around all over the place.
Yeah, not the horses ripping limbs off.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
I don't think
getting in
Modric will
those
recover from that.
positions.
I mean, there's still a degree of it where you need. If you fell off physically so much, you wouldn't be able to cut it to stick around. But these guys don't look out of place in the slightest. I mean, you see players where they know, people watching can tell it's the end of the careers. They can't cut it anymore at that level. These didn't look like that. I wouldn't be nervous now about giving Modric a new deal.
What about Casemiro and Varane? Was there something there from Madrid's side where I know obviously this season for United, there's been question marks over Casemiro's ability to, play at that high tempo. But do you reckon they saw that coming and cashed in wisely? And the same with Varane, because I mean, I look at Varane, I could see his injury record isn't great. That might be why. Otherwise, realistically, at their ages, they should still be playing in that Madrid team and picking up a couple more Champions Leagues.
I don't know if that was exactly the reason why. I wouldn't put it past it being the reason. But looking at it now, you'd have to say whether that was the reason or not. They was exactly right.
Yeah, because they don't sell
it seems
players
that
at the
way,
top of
doesn't
the
it?
game,
I mean,
Madrid, do they?
No, they don't.
No, it looks. Looking at it now, it looks like they judged it to perfection. We've got the best years out of these guys, and what years they were. And now United are going to make us a big offer, and it's the perfect time to sell. I do think you're right. If United didn't come in when they did, for both of them, I don't know whether I'd say they could still be there now doing it, but I think they would have both had an extra year there, or for Varane maybe two.
They don't start though, do they? Well, I think maybe Varane starts because
maybe
I think
Varane.
When he's fit, he's one of the best in the world. But Casemiro,
I think Casemiro would have went to the Saudi League. I think Varane, as you said, would have stayed at Madrid and could have had a year.
I think they could have both had one more year there at a good level for Madrid.
Did Rudiger go there when Varane was there, or was Varane gone?
Was it after? Did he go on a free, Rudiger? I think he did.
I think he did go on free.
That's
and
mental.
That's been a good move.
He's so good.
I think someone was mentioning. I think I read something that they couldn't believe that. I think it was Lampard actually benched Rudiger. When he was manager, it was like...
I can believe that. I mean,
whoever said that mustn't have looked at Lampard's managerial record, must have. But yeah,
that's it.
It's been a good move.
I think just while we're on Lampard, I think he's lined up to replace. Who's he lined up to replace? Someone at the top of the Championship. I don't know.
Oh, really?
At Leeds or something.
Someone's giving him a chance, and I don't know why, if I'm honest. Anyway,
we'll see. That's interesting.
Back onto Real Madrid. I think we heard today Fabrizio Romano give the here we go to Mbappe.
Yeah.
To Madrid on a free. Complete shocker. Never saw that one coming.
I know, yeah.
Etc. Etc.
Have you heard of his signing on fee? How much it is?
Oh God, it's going to be like
half of the city of Madrid.
Yeah.
85 million.
All right, sure. Like that's taking the piss, isn't it? Like if PSG accepted a bid like last season of 200 million from Madrid, how much would they signing on fee then? It won't be 80 million.
No, I doubt it would.
That's just taking the piss, surely.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Did he not renegotiate his deal at PSG? So he got like a massive bump before he left, and then he's left as well. on free and got a big signing on fee now as a result.
I think he had a £30 million signing on fee back at PSG, but I don't know what.
It's got to be a bit of a kick in the bollocks for PSG though, because in theory, you're playing with cheat codes. Like you've got an unlimited budget, especially compared to anyone else in your league, and your players can still say, "There's nothing you can offer me that's going to make me stay here." See ya.
I think that says it all, doesn't it? That like, despite all the cash, at the end of the day, it's just there's no heritage there. It's not like the peak. And what was I going to say now? I did hear that rumors that the owners of PSG are so pissed off with Mbappe they're going to try and not pay him that bonus.
Really?
Somehow.
Wow.
Like, yeah, like so.
So that means the lawyers will get involved, and then he'll end up getting probably a bit more, like an out of court settlement, that sort of thing, just so he can get paid. That's crazy. The amount of money that gets bandied about for the top players, it's amazing. It's ludicrous, to be fair.
It was already a lot, wasn't it? And people said like when he was £1 million player and stuff, it's getting too much. But I think now we can pretty much all agree it's getting too much.
Literally.
The thing that makes you worry that sooner or later there's no bubble that's ever kept getting bigger forever. Eventually it's going to burst, and it makes you worry for a lot of the small clubs that can't afford to take a massive hit.
It never happens in any other job, that does it, where your wages go up that much.
No.
Like, we're in the wrong game.
Not outside of professional sports. You look at professional sports in any sport, NFL, NBA, football. Players will get their standard wage that they're going to be getting from the club or team, whatever. But then they get the endorsements, like add-ons. So they're earning 3 times as much as you would think. So they've got deals
on top
with Nike.
of the contract with like outside deals and stuff.
Yeah, Nike. You've got probably if they get involved with a restaurant type of thing, they don't need to go on Cameo.
No, they don't. You can't get one of them for 44 quid on Cameo.
Oh no,
no, you can't. No, but wonder how much they get taxed if they pay tax. That is, or if
everyone lives in Monaco or the Cayman Islands, I bet. Or they work for a company that's registered in the Cayman Islands or somewhere, Liechtenstein, somewhere that their company's a tax haven and they're the sole employee of that company.
That's it. It's amazing, really. It really is.
If you've got a lot of money, you tend to learn how to make sure that you get to keep as much of it as possible, is the impression that I get. And it seems like
you have the right people
who know.
You.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know that the Conservative government was a sports company. Sorry, this isn't Have I Got News for You?
We have to hope that their next line of work isn't looking at how to manage a sports league, because it might be bad times for whichever one they try to get involved with.
They might end up taking over City.
Maybe they should.
I'd look that. In fact, that'd be a great Amazon or Netflix documentary, wouldn't it? Like following out of work Conservative MPs take over a Premier League club.
Have you heard of that Jacob Rees-Mogg?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, that Victorian squad.
Yeah.
That's right. He's a workhouse owner, isn't
he? Yeah.
He is,
yeah.
I saw a picture of him just today when he was about probably 8 years old, and he was wearing a monocle. I couldn't believe it.
I can believe that. I can. I nearly just spat my drink out.
His dad was a Monopoly man, wasn't he?
Oh God!
He is literally like a caricature.
He really is. Imagine him being an owner of a football club, a modern.
I can, but it's like because he's practically like the owner of a country. I've heard concerns, and you're wrong, and I don't care. So go swivel and keep buying tickets. So. Yeah, I would pay to see that documentary though. Just Sunak stood in the rain, giving a press conference about how he's going to stick with his failing manager. Yeah,
that would be. I'd pay to see that myself as well. That would be quite funny.
Who would they take over? Like, who could you see him taking over? And
apart from the standard rich boy things, like like Cambridge or Oxford United, something like that, they'd probably take away just because of where they come from. But they could be in the. What about Millwall?
Burnley, get him in charge of Burnley
Burnley,
and see what happens there.
Coventry, and rename it because that'll be popular.
Yeah, I like that.
Coventry, I love it.
I love that. Oh well. Anyway, getting away from politics, because we're unbiased here at
we're
Halftime Pie.
apolitical. That's right.
Exactly.
We have no political affiliate.
We don't know. We're not Reform. We're not Labour, Conservative. We are pie
barely
politicians. Human. Yeah. It feels like that sometimes. Most of the time, in fact. Not practically not even eligible to vote. We're less than human. So, what were we going to talk about now? So,
Champions League final we was on, weren't we? Still. So, I wanted to ask you about Bellingham. Do you think he was a bit underwhelming in the final?
Yeah,
he got an assist, didn't he? So.
Apart from that,
he was shit.
I don't think you could hold it against him because of how much he's. I mean, not to understate the caliber of the rest of the squad, but there has been stages where he carried them, and he was the guy who dragged them to get the results and kept them in.
Yeah, but I see he's a very good player, but it's people comparing him with Zidane already.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah,
I wouldn't go that far just yet.
Too early.
No, he's good, but different players. I mean, Zidane was a genius. Bellingham he's a good all rounder, isn't he?
He's only young as well, and he'll get to a stage where he might be absolutely terrific and overpass Zidane. If he stays at Madrid and stays the way he is, then yeah.
Well,
I think he's by the time he retires, his CV is going to be. There's not going to be many people who'll stack up to it at this rate. Where I mean, we've just been talking about some other players at Madrid who've won the Champions League 6 times, and it makes you worry what some of these guys who are here now, some of the youngsters there might do over there next 10, 12 years.
Just imagine if Mbappe comes, we've got this new Galactico era for Madrid, 20 years after the other one.
It's kind of like the Galactico era now, but they're just paying far less for him. It's like they Mbappe on a free. I mean, fuck off.
That's amazing.
It's just it's not on. So I mean, I know personally as a fan, if I saw my team win the Champions League once in the next 10 years, I'd be like really happy with that.
Oh yeah.
And with Madrid, it's like I saw the atmosphere of the players and the fans at the end of the game, and it was kind of a bit like, yeah, we've done it again.
Hey, let's go out and then go
out. Like nobody was going mental. Like, usually when you see them win the Champions League, they fall to the floor crying.
It's like they knew it was coming. They knew it was coming.
They walked over to each other, like practically shook hands. Well done again. On to the next one.
It's funny you should say that because before the game, I saw one of the reporters walking around outside the ground, I think, talking to fans, and he spoke to a lad, and I don't know if he was English. He sounded like he might have been American, but he was a Real Madrid fan. And he said to him he was going to win. Obviously, he's going to say Madrid, and he said why, and he said because we always win it. I was like, well, I suppose, like you said, that there's not going to be a surprise sort of joy reaction when you're used to it now.
Yeah,
You've seen them do it an awful lot of times. It's a bit of the norm, isn't it? And I suppose you set that standard, you expect it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it sounds weird, but you might get bored of it. I don't know. Because I don't know what it feels like.
I know. We've been out of the loop for the past 10 years.
Well, at the same time, whatever they've been doing there, the players have been staying motivated to keep doing it again and again. So
yeah, that's true.
So it does make you worry that by the end of Bellingham's career, he might have a big stack of Champions League medals, and we might still not be seeing any more United players with any of them.
And I think as well as that, they've got. I'm pretty sure they've got Xabi Alonso lined up to take over from Ancelotti, haven't they?
Really?
Oh, do you think?
Well, he didn't go Liverpool, did he?
No.
And you're pretty pretty much this was, if he was going to take Liverpool over, this was going to be the time.
Yeah.
If you're Madrid now and you're, like we was just saying, doing a Galacticos version 2, the standout prospect Galactico style manager is the guy who's just taken a team who've never won the league before to an unbeaten season. Well, apart from one game in a European final.
Yeah, it's bollocks. Like, just that Roberto Martinez is really good. Let him have a go at it for a bit. Like, he'll get Lukaku will turn up. Fucking God knows who else.
I think it would have been strange if they went for Vincent Kompany.
Oh yeah, that'd be mental. That if
That's a bit
major
of a
European
weird
club
move,
had gone
it?
for him. Oh wait.
Does anyone know what the terms were that they agreed in the end? Because he was talking about they wanted a £17 million fee for him.
It was the release of all hostages from the company's holding, and a 5-year contract for him, because that could be the only reason why he's got that job.
That's it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre on what it was. You know, why they went for him, for a manager who's just got his team relegated from the Premier League. It's such a strange appointment, if I'm going to be honest.
Do you know, like you see with Premier League teams who get relegated, like you see some of them who are like playing really good football despite going down, and you're like, oh, I can see what they're trying to do there. Just didn't work out for them in the end. But with Burnley, like nothing. I didn't get anything from them.
No.
And it's like, what are they seeing in that? Like, has someone just forwarded him last season's footage? And like as he signed the contract, he's like, no, actually, there's more. Don't do it.
Do you think the Luton and Sheffield United managers are thinking, what about us?
I wonder if Inter Milan are going to come in for me. I don't know, maybe.
Chris Wilder lined up at Juve. I
don't know. I thought that was a weird deal though, because whether or not they agreed to it, but a 17 million fee, I thought that's a lot. Even like some players you don't pay that for, and there's not many managers that see out the term these days. So if you're going to give him a 4 or 5 year deal and pay 17 million, is he realistically going to do 4 years, or are you going to sack him after 2 or 3 at the most? I don't know. I thought that was a bit of a weird one that they'd entertain paying it, because I don't think that even if he's, you'd think most people could go to Bayern and be successful there.
I think we've learned this season that's
maybe
not
you
the case.
can't, but I don't know. I just think like, unless it's an absolute game changer who you know is going to come in and do something, and he's going to see out his term, is it worth paying for someone who you're probably going to end up sacking before they reach the end?
Have you heard of his first, what his rumoured first signing would be at the moment? It's Zinchenko.
Oh no.
Come on, take him to Bayern.
Yeah, to take him to Bayern. I've just read it now. And then he's also eyeing up, and this could be a long shot, but it's Bruno Fernandes.
I've heard like a few rumours floating about that Fernandes is potentially moving. I won't go into it into too much detail, but yeah, I'm pretty sure any chance that he did have of going Bayern were finished the minute company signed that contract.
Yeah, that's it. I'm out.
I don't know. I could see a few teams being interested in him, but I don't know whether he'd realistically leave.
Just on that, I just got a little bit of detail on the fee that Burnley received from Bayern.
Go on.
So the headline from Kieran Maguire is Burnley delighted by size of Vincent Kompany payout. Fucking no shit. They got £10.2 million.
Wow, that's still pretty good.
That's like
just before you continue, I thought when you said the size of, I thought the size of his head you were going to say.
No, that was from a couple of years ago when they first signed. They were delighted with the size of his head. Like they are still delighted with something to do with the size of Vincent Kompany, just the fee they received. Yeah. So that and with that money, they'll go out and probably spend about 500 grand of it to get someone, and he'll get them out of the Championship first time. So
probably, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
crazy.
when I saw that 70 million, I think the only fee that I can remember topping that was, maybe not surprisingly, I think one that Chelsea paid. Did they pay more than that for VS Boas? Was it 24 million they paid for him
Oh,
Ooh,
to get him
they
out of his
spend that
deal?
in one season on 3 managers, don't they?
I
Like
guess
what
so, and then again to
fees
release
and
him.
yeah, it's pretty mental, isn't it? But that 10 million for Bayern, I know their transfers, they don't have a ton of money,
no.
and
No, the transfers have tended to be reasonably cheap until the last few years when they've gone sort of in
Like,
line with what other people do. Before that, they was very frugal.
so
yeah.
does that 10 million coming out of transfer budget for company mean that they're getting Ben Davies on a free?
Probably,
Like, get your
Oh.
football manager filter on. Like, transfer fee 0, centre back, must have played at Tottenham. Oh, Jan Vertonghen.
What do you think of the other big manager move this week? Jose Mourinho to Fenerbahce.
Fucking hell! Like, it's getting to the stage now where on his trajectory, he'll be coaching non-league football within 5 years.
It seems to be going that way. He seems to be going to every country now where he can get a job, pretty much. And Fenerbahce, Turkey's the latest one.
I'm waiting for 5 years' time when we'll get like a local newspaper from like Tamworth about how he's fallen out with the striker who's doing part-time work at hospital. Like, I think he's not committed. Fucking, I was driving an ambulance, you prick.
In the middle of open heart surgery. He
missed in training.
If I speak, I'm in trouble.
I don't know. Does anyone see him having any sort of bounce back from this? Like you said, the trajectory at the moment looks like
he just chooses accepts any job anywhere.
Bigger clubs, a smaller club, smaller club, smaller club, and it's going to carry on that way. Do you think there's any way where he has a good spell at Fenerbahce and then sort of bounces back up to a more established European team, maybe to try and have a go at something?
You can see him falling out with the fans and
anyone.
at Fenerbahce.
If he's going to be successful, he's got to do it inside 2 years, I think, because like you said, he'll be burning the place down on the way out, probably after that.
Yeah, he'll definitely, there'll be like some kind of flare incident with Mourinho just like pouring petrol all over the stadium. I know you meant that. You didn't mean that in a figurative sense, Dan.
It'd be like that. It'd be like that the Dark Knight when the Joker's leaving the hospital and he just explodes behind him.
Poor Fred. Yeah, Fred's getting managed by Mourinho again.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah. But do you think that he could be successful there and go back to like a reasonable sized Italian, Spanish, or English club, or German?
He's too far gone now. His managerial style, he's not adapting.
No,
he's like kind of stuck. His mentality as well is he can't do what he did 20 years ago with players. I think that for a start, different circumstances at Porto, he was there for a while. You know, he brought these players in, they grew to success. Chelsea, he managed that team all the way through, brought his own players in. Whereas now he's got to go in somewhere. Nothing. It's not going to be perfect for him anywhere he goes. And I don't think
there's going to be a director of football and stuff who's already like, well, we've got our plan and you need to fit into it.
Exactly. Like, you can't sign Nemanja Matic or Branislav Ivanovic. Like,
he's
too old.
Stubborn. He's very stubborn, isn't he? He really is. Set in his ways. There's no way you can tell him. It's either Jose's way or no way. That's how I see it.
No way, Jose.
No way, Jose.
Do you think that's what the meetings are like when you go through the scouting list? It's just like, I want Petr Cech, you're not having Petr Cech. I want Branislav Ivanovic, you're not having Branislav Ivanovic. I want Ricardo Carvalho, you're not having Ricardo Carvalho. I want Paulo Ferreira. And then they just get tired of it after a few years of these meetings week in, week out.
Like, go on then. Sorry, Petr Cech's playing ice hockey now. Leave him alone. Yeah, I think he just. I don't know. I
I
don't know.
don't. Yeah.
Who did he sign at Roma? He got Lukaku in, didn't he? Like,
Yeah. Did
I
he
would
get?
not be surprised
Did
if
he
he
sign
turned up.
Chris Smalling?
I think he might have. You know.
No, he didn't.
Was he already there when
He was already
Mourinho
there.
arrived?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about Tammy Abraham? Did he sign Tammy Abraham?
No, he was there beforehand as well.
Oh, okay.
And after Mourinho went there, turned to shit. So
Yeah.
yeah,
He probably told him he was in training. I think that was one of his favoured manoeuvres, like to motivate the other players. I'll tell one guy that he's shit.
Do you know what? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, like like some managers can rub you up the wrong way by giving feedback, but being pretty blunt. He'd just walk up to someone in training, like whisper in their ear, "You prick," for no reason
I
whatsoever.
don't know how he picked, but it did seem like at every club he went to, there was one player, and he was just like, he's going to be the one who I'm
Yeah.
not going to get on with at this club.
Yeah.
His first signing at Roma, by the way, was a guy called Marash Kumbulla.
Remember the name.
And it was a defender.
Yeah.
Kumbulla.
Watch out for Lukaku to Fenerbahce, because that's probably going to happen.
Yes, that's a good call. That.
Like, he'll bag goals for fun there. Lukaku's going to finish his career with like 500 goals.
Yeah.
And, like the first touch of somebody who's not very good. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird football, isn't it? Like, you can stats and performance don't line up sometimes. So
No.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly that. Especially that we're going to talk about team of the season and
yeah,
players
that's a
who
good
stand
shout.
out. Sometimes the stats can, one way or the other, be a bit misleading for some players. Like, I think you have to give them the eye test as well and see, are they in a bad team that's not helping them, that don't play to their strengths, but they're a good player, or is it like the rest of the team masks this guy's weaknesses, and that's why his stats are so good?
That's exactly like me in work. So I know I make that joke every single week, but it still works. It's still relevant, and I'm not. So on that note, shall we move on to the team of the season then?
Yeah.
So we'll start off rogue pick here, but goalkeeper. We'll start there first. Who are we thinking? I think for me, you've got Alisson, Edison, who are always up there, but I don't necessarily think either have been great.
No.
Really, I think Alisson's been all right, but he's been injured a fair bit. What? Any thoughts on picks for you guys?
For me, I am actually gonna go for David Raya. For Arsenal.
No, not him.
I think he's had a decent to come in for someone for Ramsdale with some criticism. Like, at first there were people thinking, why is he taking over someone's spot? And he must have got a lot of pressure from people because Ramsdale, he was number one choice. But I think Raya's done a pretty decent job, to be fair.
You know what? For me, there's been no real standout. No one who's been brilliant. Like, I think there's question marks over Raya. But yeah, like going into the season, I thought Anana was going to be the one. It turns out he's erratic. But yeah, hopefully next season will be better.
For me, I think I'd probably give it to Edison, basically just by default, just because of how he's generally very consistent at a high level. He's important to City. Although that said, the last couple of games of the season, Edison got a head injury, I think, with 2-3 games to go.
Yeah.
And in the rest of that game, and I think there might have been one league game after it, the subkeeper who came in was outstanding in both of those.
Yeah.
But I think I'd probably give it to Edison basically by default, just because he's solid. And
good shout, that Savage.
It is a good shout, yeah. For Villa's performance, that is a good call.
Do you think that's
he's a character. You have to say
defenders?
that he's not just there, is he? He plays his part in that team.
Oh, he's a character. He's a proper wind-up merchant.
Yeah, he is.
But he's a good goalkeeper, I think. I'm going to go with Savage. I'll go Martinez.
Oh, well, you've swayed me.
Yeah. Do you think it was more? Do you think the defense of Villa has kind of helped Martinez as well? Because they have been quite strong. When we'll get onto the defenders when we in a moment, but there have been some good defense.
Possibly, but
defenders.
I think like we said, he's a big personality, and he does step up. He's had his moments, just to sort of not muddy the waters, but to have a couple of different inputs just for
You're not going to say Grizovic again, Dan, are you?
not this time. What's the word? Just for reference of other opinions. Football 365 for their goalkeeper a season picked West Ham's Areola, and on the Fantasy League total points, according to points earned, the best goalkeeper performance this season was Jordan Pickford.
Wow.
But again, that's,
really?
as we just talked about, stats wise, I mean, this is Fantasy League player stats, and that's like determined off shots faced and stuff like that. But stats wise, he got the most points out of any goalkeeper. But on the eye test, I wouldn't pick Jordan Pickford as my goalkeeper of the season.
He would be
somewhere
way down.
Southgate's shaking his head. Yeah, so I think we'll go Martinez on that one. Centre backs then. So I'm gonna go with the Arsenal's pairing, Gabriel and Saliba. I think
that's good.
They work well. I think elsewhere, Van Dijk he's dropped off again, and really there's been no one else who's come close to them for me.
I'm gonna have to go talk about Aston Villa, like Pau Torres, bringing him in. Pau Torres, bringing him in from was it Villarreal that managed last? Was a great move. You know, to bring in someone that he knows and is a strong defender, and he's done really well for Villa. And it's kind of, I think, was he matched up with Konza?
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
I think he was partnered with Ming the Merciless before he got injured.
And then Konza came in. I think he's been a strong bringer, but I have to agree with you as well. That central defenders of Saliba, who is it again? Gabriel has been brilliant. Pig.
Absolute sledgehammer, that lad.
Phil Collins in support as well.
Collins is on the bench. Yeah, he's an easy lover. Anyway, centre backs. So we agreed then.
I think I'd go with you on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you.
I think generally City's pool are good. They're all strong, but I think just to give them credit, the Arsenal pairing probably were the outstanding two this year.
Do you think City have chopped and changed the defence too much this season? Gone.
I don't know about too much, but
they had John Stones at the back, didn't they? At one point,
they seem to have like 4 centre backs playing
all the time in every
time. Yeah, if anything, they've got too many centre backs playing. But that's Pep, I suppose.
Got to do something clever. It'll be something different next season. Wait and find out what it will be. He's going to play an entire team of central midfield players.
He will, yeah. Like 100% possession, no goals. Just watch it. Like the first manager to play a false goalkeeper. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. See if you'll see Edison like roaming around the penalty box.
The opposition penalty box.
Yeah. Let's be clear on that. Moving on to the fullbacks, it seems like there's been a distinct lack of brilliant fullbacks this season. Like left backs, it's sparse. It's
really is, yeah.
There's a drought on left backs where I think a couple of seasons ago you couldn't move for him. You had like your Shaws, your Robertsons, Chilwells.
Yeah,
all of which have either been injured or shit. Sorry, Andy. And then right backs. who is there apart from Kyle Walker? That's like a natural right back. I know you've got Ben White there.
What's Trippier?
Trippier's a right back.
Yeah, he's not been very good this season. I don't think he's.
I think at the start he was showing some signs at the start of the season, but then it kind of fell off. And that could be injuries. I don't know.
I think it's like every other game. It was like, oh, Trippier's made a mistake. So yeah, I don't know if I personally put him in there.
What about Trent Alexander-Arnold?
No, that's never the answer. It's never the answer. Come on now. You weren't being serious there, were you, Savage?
I was trying to be.
Sorry, mate. I don't want to be offensive, but he is awful.
He has, yeah. This season,
all right.
He has been shit.
What's your argument for him then? Go on.
I think for me, he's a good crosser of the ball, and he could get you. He could spot you in a position where he could just float that ball over, and you could make your moves then. And he's a good playmaker at the end of the day, I guess.
So is David Bentley. I won't want him playing right back for me.
Fair point. Fair point.
No.
We'll move on from that one then.
I'm sorry, man.
Again, I'd probably just go Walker by default, just because he's solid, he's fast, he's
by default, definitely.
He's basically the easy one to pick, and there's no one stands out above him. Again, for reference, Football 365 gave it to Trent, and to maybe emphasise the that sound like it hurt you hearing that, Ada.
What are they playing at? Like, have they got eyes?
Maybe just to emphasise the point that you made on the Fantasy League, they've picked it as their sort of team of the season as a back three, so they didn't have to pick a left back. They've got Ben White, Saliba, and Gabriel as a back three.
Well, they got out of that, did
so they ducked out of picking a left back. Yeah.
Oh God! Right. Anyway, yeah. Do you know what? I'll go with Kyle Walker there.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm gonna...
What about left back? I mean, who is there? Like you, I think in one of the teams I've seen, you've got Udogie from Tottenham.
Did he really play left back then? Yeah, I thought he was more in the central, either in defensive central or not. I don't know. I'd never really seen him at left back for some reason.
No, Big Ange loves to play him left back.
All right.
You're playing fucking left back. Keep wide.
Keep wide.
Keep wide. Go on, Dongo. Get in across. Yeah, I don't know who else there is. You've got
Football 365 have got Guardiola.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate, to be fair. I think that he finished the season better than he started, but I don't think that overall you'd put him in the top left back of the season.
No, it's really. I'm scratching my head trying to think of.
It's tough. It's really tough.
Can we just call it quits?
There is no one who stands out. I think Udogie might be a good shout.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with Udogie, closely followed by Phil
Just
Neville.
looking at some top performing left backs for the season, Udogie outranks Guardiola, Zinchenko, Luke Shaw, who spent most of the season injured, Estupinian from Brighton, Mikolenko from Everton. Again, he's another one. He had I think a decent season stats wise on Fantasy League, but I'm not sure that I'd pick him for the best left back of the year.
No. Right, midfield then. Are we going with a 3 and then 3 up front?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
right.
Good shout.
I think we had did we go through a combined City Arsenal 11?
Did.
I think we did, yeah. And I think it's probably going to show up quite heavy here as well. So
I think Rodri has to be in mine.
Rodri.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue with that, can you?
Just over De Bruyne as well, because De Bruyne's not had really a season, if you think about it.
He's been injured.
No, he's missed, most all of it.
He's had time to, recuperate and grow that goatee. So, yeah, I think I'll pick Rice in there as well, because I know he's had pretty big impact.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that, yeah.
And then Who else would you have in there? That was Odegaard.
I do like Odegaard. I think depending on, I think he'd be classified as a midfielder. I think I'd maybe go Cole Palmer from Chelsea.
I was gonna say that Cole Palmer.
Would you not put him up front though?
As a
wide
maybe.
midfielder.
They've used him all over the place, haven't they? And I think at some stages they've played him centre forward because he was the only player they had who was getting goals.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I'd maybe pick him amongst the forwards.
Okay. Any other takers for any other midfielders
instead of Odegaard?
I don't think there is. I think Odegaard has been stand out.
I think I'd go with that. Again, contributes. I do like him. I like those kind of players in general, and as much as I don't like it watching him play for Arsenal, I do like watching him. So yeah, I'd go with that.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
That leads us up to the front three then, and I think we mentioned Palmer. Then I'd go with him on the right, cutting in from the right on his left foot.
Saka.
Palmer
that side, but
you'd say Saka. You would.
I put Saka in there somewhere. If we're gonna stick Palmer in, I think Saka's been brilliant for Arsenal. I'm trying to think of any wingers for. I know Foden is a good shout as well, and I think you might be going.
You can't leave Foden out, can you? I don't think.
I know. Would you choose Foden over Saka then?
I think I would.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I think Saka. I think towards the end of the season he was a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
He stood out earlier, and I think he did tail off a bit towards the end, where I don't think you could really make that case for Foden. I think he was. I don't know if he had sort of severe peaks and troughs. He seemed pretty steady, sort of.
Yeah, he did
pretty well all the way through, but he was. He kept going to the end, and I know it's an individual's thing, but City won the league, and yeah, I think I'd pick Foden over Saka for.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to agree this occasion on that. Yeah.
Palmer and Foden then on the wide forwards. What about up front then?
It's got to be Haaland.
I think might be tough.
I'm gonna have to say Haaland. I know he's not been like he was the season before, but I think it's Haaland at the end of the day. I don't think there's any striker that could match. Maybe Watkins might go there because he's been quite good this season, improvement of others, but Haaland.
That's interesting. That's what I was going to say as a sort of wild card in this. And again, just to chuck in for reference, Football 365 in their team of the season picked Haaland and says you can't argue with 27 league goals in 31 games. But looking at, again, Fantasy League player stats, this is a bit surprising. Ollie Watkins outscored Haaland this season in points. He got 11 more points than Haaland did. So theoretically, whatever reason, whether that's more minutes, appearances, goals, assists, whatever, all costs all added up together, somehow or other, individually contributed more points than Haaland would have. But okay, at least he needs to be an honourable mention, Watkins. I could maybe be persuaded that Haaland, again, just by default, he scores so many goals, you can't really argue. That I can't really argue, but Watkins, I think, does deserve a mention.
I think an honourable mention is, I think Watkins, yeah, I'm tempted to go with against the norm of Haaland and say Watkins up there as the striker. Because
go with Watkins, I say.
Yeah. Just to give that kid a chance.
Yeah, I know he's like he'll be listening to this podcast waiting for the final lineup. You have made it, Ole. Well, are we in agreement that he's made it, lads?
I think so. Yeah, I think just
he's done enough.
Like you said, to recognise the achievement. You can't argue with what he's done. So
there you go.
And stand out a little bit and not just give it Haaland like everyone else doubtless will. Let's do the right thing and give it Ollie Watkins.
And who do you think manager of the season is?
Sean Dyche. No, I don't know. I don't know. I joke, but he has done well.
Emery. I know
Yes,
it's
yeah. In
debated.
fact, yeah, I've
I
got
think
Emery. I've got to say Emery.
again, I think I'd go with that. He didn't win the league, but no one
No.
expected him to at the start of the season, and that's not what Manager of the Year should be. It shouldn't just be who won; it should be who overachieved versus what people expected of him.
Yeah.
Who got the best out of what they had available, and I don't think you can argue with Villa finishing fourth.
You can't. No.
Not at all.
Right. Well, I think that's the 11 sorted. So, goal we got Serie wind-up merchant Emi Martinez. On the left, we've got Adoge, I think it was, with Gabriel Saliba and Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Midfield, Rodri, Rice, Odegaard, and up front, Foden, Watkins, and Palmer, managed by Unai Emery. So,
pretty good side.
Congratulations, Ole. I know that you'll be declining calls from Gareth Southgate right now, who's trying to call you up to the England squad. But yeah, you have made it. So congratulations. So I think we'll wrap things up with another round of ChatGPT Get Banged, and this week we'll be mixing it up a little bit. We'll be going through the questions, but it won't be individually. It'll be as a group. So basically, whoever shouts out first. So in this scenario, what we'll be looking to do, we'll be rewriting history from 2012, similar to what we did last episode 9. So for a special 10th anniversary, not anniversary, 10th episode anniversary, we'll be discussing what would happen in 2012 if QPR, who at the time I think they were going, was it Tony Fernandez who was the owner?
I think so.
And there was a lot of questionable signings made, big money, a lot of expectation, but it didn't quite happen. So I think in this scenario, they'll be looking for appointments and signings of players who are just absolute nightmares. So there'll be, players who will be rubbing up the dressing room the wrong way, managers who will be rubbing up the dressing room the wrong way. Basically what happened in real life, but to an extreme. So if you can cast your minds back then and think about the players that were around at the time, the managers that were available in 2012 or in circulation, so to speak, try and think about them. So in this reality, what kind of managerial appointment do you think they make if they were going to go for someone who was just going to piss everybody off at the time? So we're just looking for the right answer on this one from either of you. Who do you think that they would appoint? Who's like with the prime and their pomp in 2012 that, like we've got a philosophy now of just absolute arseholes. Who's going to come in and set the tone for it all?
Where was Mourinho at the time?
He was joining QPR. You've got it correct.
Was it?
Yeah. You've got it correct.
Oh my God.
First blood to Dan. So Mourinho, in a shocking turn of events, leaves Real Madrid and joins QPR. His arrival generates massive excitement and high expectations among fans and media. So yeah, I think whatever they've said to him or how much they're offering him, it's got to be a lot. They've also outlined an arsehole only policy for transfers, and he's, he can get behind that. I think he loves an arsehole on a fallout. So I don't, not two words that you want to put together, really.
No,
especially if a doctor's speaking to you. So right, he's joined, fanfare, all that bollocks. Let's get down to transfers. So in his first window, he signs 6 players. So what we're looking for now is who those 6 players were and I think you get a point for each. So
Ooh, in 2012.
nobody,
2012.
there's no one off the table here. So anyone you want,
Oh,
mate.
anyone. Cristiano
Who's-
Ronaldo.
Oh, no, come on. We're thinking about prime arsehole here, Savage. We're thinking about who do you not want in that dressing room? Who's gonna
Joey
like,
Barton.
There's a point. There's a point.
Signed Joey Barton.
So Joey Barton, he was actually already at QPR, but on loan at Marseille. So he was returned and integrated back into the squad like a prisoner. We can integrate him back into society / the squad.
Oh my god!
So there's a point. So 5 left.
Ryan Shawcross.
No.
Okay.
John Terry.
There's a point for Dan. In a £50 million transfer is reunited with Mourinho. So you've got Barton and Terry in that dressing room now. So that's setting the tone for it.
Romelu Lukaku.
You're wrong there, I'm afraid.
Oh.
No.
Jermaine Jennings.
Jermaine Jennings. Oh my god! Where's that come from, Savage? Has he done something to you?
No,
Did you have an encounter with Jermaine Jennings?
Is he the one on the one show?
Yeah, like. Come on, there's got to be more to this than meets the eye. What's he done?
No, he's done nothing. I like Jermaine Jennings, to be fair.
Poor Jermaine Jennings in that dressing room.
There's one, but I don't know if he was still playing. Lee
Just say
Bowyer.
it. No, I'm retired.
Bobby Zamora.
No, he was already there, I think.
Okay.
So you got 4 left.
Ooh.
Who's just gonna be a nightmare to manage? Who's gonna?
And this is just not players in the Premier League. It could have been players outside of the league as well.
Yes.
Oh.
So he's got his list. He's got his. He's submitted his list into the transfer department. I want these players. Do whatever it takes. They've done the scouting. Like they've done the homework on the mentals. These are absolute nightmares. They're going to cause problems.
What was that guy called at West Brom who drove somewhere to a different club to train?
Odin Winger.
Winger.
No, I'm afraid that wasn't part of it. No, he did try to sign for him.
He drove to the training ground on deadline day, but Mourinho wasn't having that one.
He said, "I think not."
Balotelli.
There's a point.
Oh, good call.
There's a point.
Balotelli.
You've done well there. He
it was a no-brainer.
From Man City for 20 million to a high-profile signing to add flair and unpredictability. So yeah, it'll be doing all sorts of shit.
I don't know how many other players you can get now.
We're at 4 points or 2 points all.
Oh, this is going to be a volatile changing room.
I know, and we've still got 2 players to go. Is it 2 players? No, 3.
What? Give us a hint on the positions.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. So to go, we've still got a striker to come in. We have a centre back and a midfielder.
Yeah. Who was playing around that time? Was one of them English?
No, he's had to go further afield for his nightmares.
I'm trying to think of.
Oh, I know. And it was a problem back in the day in the German league. It might have been at Bayern at the time. It could have been, or it could have been after. Boateng, Kevin Prince.
No, you're wrong. Oh. I think. Any last guesses before we
wrap it up?
Name the 3.
I can't think of any others.
Nope.
I feel like we're missing some obvious ones, but I think we'll have to throw in the towel.
What about at the time? One more guess. An Arsenal player. Bentner.
No, not the king. No.
No.
No. All right, your time's up. So, this player, famously, if I was to say one word, sulk.
Oh.
Nope.
No.
Nicholas Anelka.
Oh, was he still playing at that time? Oh,
He
man.
was. He was signed from Shanghai Shenhua for $4 million.
You weren't kidding when you said he had to go further afield. Yeah, the Loy Sulk was his nickname, wasn't it?
That's it. We're getting the A team back together. Like the
Wow.
van's turned up, they've bundled him into the back of it, and he's not happy. Starting off as he means to go on. Then the other two. So he went to his former club Madrid and got Pepe for 25 million.
Oh,
Who,
you
if you'll
see,
remember, was at the height of
Wow.
his lunatic
yeah,
career. So I think around that time he did that mad thing where he tried absolutely murdering someone on the he was on the floor by kicking them twice in the head.
Yeah.
And then last one.
and
So
that time when he tried to kickstart his career as a pride fighter,
yeah,
he thought
that's it.
soccer kicks were
remember
legal.
that.
Yeah, he couldn't go a week without getting red card.
He couldn't no, so he thought, that level of aggression is gonna bring me problems that I want. And then this one is definitely one for the future. He saw this player and thought, this guy looks like someone who is absolutely going to piss me off in 5 or 6 years' time. He's quite, he's not consistent with his throwing the toys out the pram, but I think one day he's going to be world class at it. And that was Paul Pogba from Juventus for £15 million. So, yeah, definitely one for the future.
Well, he
But
did have an eye for a talent, but only for one particular talent.
He did, yeah, and he thought, like he's gonna cause me serious problems one day, and he did. So, I think that's the signings done. So, I think you can see that dressing room shaping up, and it's absolutely awful. To be
Going to
fair,
be sat in individual cubicles.
yeah, it'll be like just the testosterone in that changing room, just the dirty looks flying about everywhere. It's not going to be a nice place, and that's just from Mourinho. So. I think moving on to the third question then. So, in September, the fallouts begin. Mourinho publicly criticises this player, leading to media speculation about the relationship. So, who is the first one that he criticised? Who do you reckon out of those would be the first one to piss him off?
I think probably it was a tough list. I think I'd go between Joey Barton and Anelka. I think it's hard to go against Joey Barton.
I think Balotelli and Joey Barton.
I forgot about Balotelli. This is like the
Savage.
Avengers.
Savage, you've done it again. Well done. You've done well. To be honest, that's probably I think if anything, Joey Barton's absolute prickery, Mourinho would admire.
It pales in comparison to. So at least it was conventional prickery. Balotelli could do anything.
yeah, he just didn't know what he was going to do next. So he was quite disciplined at being a arsehole, Barton. So yeah, he fell out with Balotelli, leading to media speculation about their relationship.
Ooh.
So I think just to give you a little bit of an idea about some of the shit that went on around that time. So in October, they lost 4-1 to Arsenal. Defensive errors from Pepe and John Terry. Mourinho's criticism of his defence creates further tension.
I imagine they were too busy arguing and fighting with each other to tackle anybody.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's not going well. Let's see. This is a good one, actually. I like this. November, internal conflicts. Joey Barton and John Terry have a bust up during training. Mourinho's attempts to maintain discipline backfire, creating a toxic atmosphere. Yeah, it's all going so well so far. And then, they've lost some games of football in between that, which I'm sure you're not interested in. So, getting on to question number 4. So, in March, there's a toxic atmosphere, and Mourinho falls out with these two players over tactical disagreements. Which two were they? And give you a little bit of a clue. It wasn't the two mentioned previously.
Okay.
So Mourinho's got his tactical style. In March, he's trying to turn things around. He wants more discipline, less creativity. Do not pass the ball forward, basically.
It's got to be John Terry as one of them.
Nope.
No. Oof. So not the two that have been mentioned, like Balotelli and
not Balotelli or
Dr. Joey Barton.
Or Dr. Joey Barton, no.
Anelka.
Nope.
Oh.
Who does that leave? Two of them.
Trying to think of the names we mentioned for his signing.
I'll give you a hint. The inconsistency of the potential is finally being seen.
Oh, it's Pogba.
Yes, there's one.
There's one. And what does the other guy's name rhyme with?
Fucking hell! Like, as a process of elimination, not a hint enough.
No, I can't remember the player that we chose.
All right, I'll give you one hint. Lunatic.
Pepe.
Yes.
Pepe.
Yes. So Pepe and Pogba are falling out with him.
In our defence, it's hard to keep track of all these in one team. Usually, there's only one in a team at a time, maybe two, and they fight each other. But when there's like more than 5 or 6 of them,
problems everywhere.
I'm surprised there's any players left at the club. They're so volatile.
Well, do you know what? We'll go into the full team now. And just to give you a bit of we've got one question left. Dan, you're ahead by 1 point, so this could be the one. You could be the one, Dan. So to give you an idea of the team at the time, the starting 11, you've got Bernd Leno in net. Poor bastard.
He's getting an headbutt in.
John Terry's playing right back.
That's really odd.
You've got Pepe and Ryan Nelson at centre back.
Ryan Nelson.
Fucking hell. Armand Traore left back. A midfield of Joey Barton and Paul Pogba.
No one's ever said that before.
Spot the odd one out here. You've got Balotelli, centre forward, Anelka striker, Adel Tarabt, left wing, and right wing, Ji-sung Park.
Oh, poor Ji-sung.
Oh my god.
Who does he turn to for companionship in that group? He can't turn backwards because Pepe and John Terry aren't going to welcome you.
And you know that Joey Barton would be racist right towards him.
Doctor? No, Doctor's being inappropriate. And then
temperamental forwards up front.
Exactly. Yeah. Poor guy. And then he's, he can run as much as he wants. He's not going to please Mourinho.
He's not tall enough to please Mourinho. Or old enough, in all likelihood. I don't know how old Ji-sung was then, but I imagine he's not old enough for what Jose was after.
I mean, his tactical instructions were grow another 5 inches, and he just can't do it. Not at his age, anyway. So yeah, that's a team. So basically, in the end, they managed to avoid relegation somehow, securing crucial wins against Stoke and Fulham. And they finished 17th on a dramatic final day draw with Newcastle. And I think this just sums it up, really. Balotelli scores the crucial equaliser, but he's sent off for a second yellow card afterwards. Oh, fucking hell.
So Mourinho said finishing 17th with this team was the greatest achievement of my football career.
That's it, yeah. Like, unbelievable achievement there. So, final question. Out of the three of Pepe, Balotelli, and Joey Barton, how many red cards did they get between them?
Between them?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm going to go. I'm just going to pick a high number here of 11.
No.
Oh, okay.
We'll I was going to say we'll do like closest wins.
Oh,
But
okay.
we can't do that. We can't do that now because I think it's pretty easy then.
Oh.
I honestly don't know if it'll be more or less. I was trying to average it out, and I was thinking 11.
I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go 8.
No. Lower.
Jesus.
Lower than 8?
Yep.
4.
Nope.
3.
Nope. Higher.
0. Oh, 5.
6.
5. Savage gets it. Savage gets it. It's a tie.
That's surprising, that.
I'm shocked.
It's a tie. So Balotelli got 5 yellow cards, 2 red cards. Joey Barton got 10 yellow cards and 2 red cards. Pepe got 10 yellow cards and 1 red card.
I was thinking they'd have got at least 3 each.
So
and then I was working out, like, if you got
Yeah.
3 reds in a season, how many games would you have missed? So could you have realistically got many more than that? I'm shocked it's so low.
There's a lot of red cards there, so they miss games. But also, like, if you had the yellow cards up, I think after 5 yellow cards, it's a 1-match ban.
And Joey Barton got 10.
Every 3 yellow cards after that, you get like a 2-match ban. So, yeah, a lot of games missed, basically. Probably why they stayed up, to be fair.
Yeah.
So
crazy. That's crazy.
I don't have a tiebreaker question, so I think we'll end that one.
Share.
We'll share that like they used to do with the Charity Shield. So
nice little handshake.
Yeah. So congratulations to both of you. A bit of an aggressive ChatGPT get banged there.
That was a mad one, that.
It's funny because they've got some talented players in that team, but it just goes to show even ChatGPT recognises that it's a tinderbox waiting to catch fire. Finished 17th. They've barely avoided that disaster, but they did avoid it. So credit to Mourinho's achievement.
Not one mention of Anelka. Like, who would have thought?
I know,
He'd be the one that's buckled down.
He's probably like just, I don't know, he's pissed off. But everyone else is getting sent off left, right, and centre and putting cigars out in people's eyes.
Maybe by this time he's seen it all before, so he's just took it in stride. He must be one of the more experienced players in the squad by then.
He's probably like 34, 35 at the time, so like those years of being just moody will have seen him through that period.
Yeah.
So,
I remember when I used to set fireworks off in my bathroom.
them were the days.
Oh my days,
Anyway, more of that next week. But yeah, I think in terms of things upcoming, it's kind of like a bit of a barren period now. Not a lot. Well, no football. Yeah, it's a bit of a wasteland until the Euros. But I think we'll have a lot of discussion about that.
We're 2 weeks away from the Euros.
It's not far.
Yeah, 2 weeks. 14th of is it 14th of June? Yeah, 14th of June, the first game. Scotland, I think.
It goes to show how much I know because A, I don't know when it starts. B, I don't know who we're playing against, and C, I couldn't give a shit. But Real Britannia, eh? What are you gonna do? I'm sure that by the second game I'll be all aboard the Southgate train. And, but not in terms of domestic football. Never in terms of domestic football.
No,
not unless he's managing one of our rivals.
Yeah,
we've got a cracking first game for the Euros. Germany and Scotland, first one. So,
my God!
See Scott McTominay stamp his authority.
Oh God, it's going to be El Smashtico. Like, just both sets of fans absolutely trolleyed on 10% Budvar. Like, they were discussing banning alcohol from the grounds, and thankfully they didn't. So, yeah, should be a good one.
Yeah, that'd be good in that one. Can't wait to get into that for the Euro specials.
Yeah. Anyway, quite a long one this week, but yeah, we'll see what happens with TJ. I know he's been called up to Papua New Guinea. I don't know. To be honest, they didn't mention football, so he could be actually fighting for them. So, all the best.
All the best. Good luck, TJ.
That's Godspeed, mate. he's from Salford. He's plucky. He'll find a way back.
He will.
And then as far as you two go, yeah, we'll reconvene next week to discuss all the big topics. And yeah, cheers for listening, and in a bit.